Another edition of the Calder Trophy Tracker by NHL.com came out, and then previewing the Red Wings matchup in Edmonton.
You're Locked On Red Wings, your daily podcast on the Detroit Red Wings, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, welcome back to the Locked On Red Wings podcast. We are your hosts, Brian Fisher and Scotty Bentley. Scotty also hosts at Locked On Tigers. He's got some radical shades on today. It deserves the word radical, by the way.
Yeah, radical. They're rad, baby.
Rad.
Optic nerve eyewear.
I can see my face in them.
Yeah, damn right you can.
They reflect a lot.
Yeah.
No, really what I see is your laptop.
Yeah, but you can, hold on.
Yeah, there's me. Look at that. Those are pretty sick, man. Those are awesome. You're killing me. This episode is brought to you by Rock Auto. Amazing selection, reliably low prices. All the parts you will ever need. Visit rockauto.com and tell them Locked On sent you. Guys, we got two things to talk about in today's episode. The first thing is we're going to talk about the Calder Trophy Tracker. The NHL.com released a new edition, and our boys are back on top. Both of them back on top. And then segment 2, we're going to talk about the forwards line going forward. Tis. And then final segment, we'll be doing a preview of the Edmonton Oilers matchup, the second of the year. Red Wings squeaked out a win earlier in the season. Let's see if they can pull out the same and end this skid that they're on. And we'll do that in the third segment. But, Scotty, let's lead things off here talking about this trophy tracker. This is the third, I believe, of the season. NHL.com paneled their writers and asked them to, make a selection of their candidates for Calder. Well, let me tell you, Trevor Zegras no longer on top. Remember how panicked we were back in January?
I'm pretty sure I kept a pretty cool head throughout the whole thing. Actually, I think I was the hey, it's only halfway through the season, everything will iron out. Pretty sure I nailed that. Third eye open. Hashtag Oracle, actually.
But thanks for throwing me under the bus there, Scotty.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Yeah, I will. Gladly.
Moritz Seider finished atop the voting with, I believe, 70-something points. I'm trying to find it exactly here. He received 70 voting points, including 13 of 15 first-place votes. So all but 2 Professional Hockey Writers Association writers voted him for the first place in the Calder at this far in the season, about 3/4 of the way through. They had this to say about him. Seider, who is the second defenseman off the board when chosen number 6 by the Detroit Red Wings, leads all players at the position from the draft in just about every statistical category, including points with 41, assists 36, power play points 17, block shots 116, and hits 96. His 5 goals are tied for first with Colorado Avalanche defenseman Bowen Byram, selected number 4 in that same draft. And he, among all NHL rookies, he leads in assists at 36, and his average ice time leads at 23 minutes and 2 seconds a game, and is 4th with 41 points in 59 games. I think, honestly, out of all the stats they listed off there, Scotty, being 4th in points as a defenseman, amongst the rookies, is probably the most impressive. He's not first, but a defenseman is 4th among rookies in scoring with 41 points.
Yeah.
Pretty insane.
He's okay. He's nice with it. Right. He's all right. Yeah, no, I mean that's the dog. Look, the Moritz Seider, winning Calder as a defenseman, impressive enough, assuming everything remains where it's at now through the end of the season, which I have no reason to believe it won't. Okay. That's already impressive enough, but the consistency that he has shown as a defenseman, that really no forward in the NHL, no rookie forward in the NHL this year has shown even close to the same amount of consistency that he's shown on a game-to-game, week-to-week basis. That's the most impressive thing in my eyes, I think.
No, you're 100% right.
Because even when he was in second, it wasn't like, he dropped off. It's just like, no, Zegras is on another planet right now. And then Zegras got cold. The Ducks are ice cold. And here we are.
Well, and the other impressive stat there that stands out is that he leads all rookies in ice time with averaging 23 minutes a night. And we've talked about it before, and I'm going to say it again. It's incredibly impressive, the fact that he is immediately a number one defenseman, averaging 23 minutes a night, the most minutes on any of the defensemen on this team. And he is as good as he is with all that ice time and all that responsibility playing against other teams' best players. And now, granted, the team's spiraling right now. I wouldn't say he's struggling. He himself actually said today or yesterday, by the time it's coming out, that he feels like he's struggling right now. But his version of struggling is still leagues better than what his teammates are doing.
Just because he's got high standards. Man.
He's got high standards for himself, and he's playing on a team that's right now struggling overall. So him struggling is still really not struggling for him, but not really in regards to the rest of the team. He's still playing fantastic. Second in voting was back at the top, Lucas Raymond. What they had to say about Red Wings forward, Lucas Raymond finished second with 42 points, including one first place vote. Anaheim Ducks forward Trevor Zegras was third with 41, including the one remaining first place vote. So 16 of the 17 first place votes, Scotty. I'm sorry, 14 of the 15 first place votes went to the Detroit Red Wings rookies, one of which went to Lucas Raymond. And now this is where it gets tough. I mean, Trevor Zegras has definitely cooled off a little bit since the Ducks have gotten hot, but he's still been
cold.
He's going through the same stretch that Lucas Raymond did about a month ago, where he's not scoring goals, but he's still getting assists every game, every other game. He's still racking up points. But the thing is now Lucas Raymond's kind of come back on. He's had a couple multi-goal games, a couple multi-point games. While also like continuing to be consistent. So that's why I think Lucas Raymond and Trevor Zegras are probably going to be neck and neck. But I think that Lucas Raymond heating back up right now is going to keep him in that conversation in the top three.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's a race for second.
Yeah, which doesn't matter.
I mean, let's keep it a buck. Like this ain't a race for winning the Calder no more. That's out the window. You're competing for second.
I did want to bring up. Now, this isn't necessarily Red Wings related, but something that surprised me is they listed at the very end, like, all who else got votes. And it's Seider with 70, Raymond with 42, Zegras with 41, Bunting with 32, which I don't even want to talk about Michael Bunting. Lundell with 18 points.
How old is he? Are you younger than him?
I know it's really close. Let me look up Michael Bunting's actual age so we can find out for sure.
I'm well younger than him.
Michael Bunting is, I'm younger than Michael Bunting. I'm 26 years old, guys. He was born in 1995.
You just turned 26.
It's almost like playing on a line with Marner and Matthews is just amazing and going to get you points.
He's 27, right?
He's 26. He'll be 27 in September.
Oh, okay. So you're whatever, half a year older than him. Or younger than him, sorry. Yeah.
That's why.
Like, what are we doing?
I honestly don't think he's going to win because of that exact thing. Like, he's already so old, and that people are going to look at the fact that he's playing with those elite offensive talents. They're going to say, okay, well, that contributed to the points he got. Who's Moritz Seider playing with? Right now, he's playing with Nick Leddy.
You want to answer that?
But he played the bulk of the season with Danny DeKeyser, who, as we've stated, is unfortunately underperforming his contract. But now he's playing with a little bit better of a guy, Nick Leddy, because they're probably showcasing him to get him traded. Once Nick Leddy goes away, is Osterley going to be his full-time partner? Is it going to go back to Danny DeKeyser? It doesn't really matter. Whoever you pair with him is not going to be that good. Or, correction, not going to be as good as Nick Leddy is. And so Moritz Seider is going to end up carrying that pairing. So you could want to compare and contrast who's doing what with the talent they're given. Moritz Seider's still easily that number one favorite. But the player I wanted to bring up, Scotty, as, in my opinion, not getting enough recognition is actually the Boston rookie goaltender, Jeremy Swayman. Because he has been unreal this year. And he only garnered 17 points, just ahead of Tanner Jeannot, who got 5 points. I mean, the fact that a goaltender with a .932 save percentage, and I don't know, where is he at in here? 28 games played is that low on. That's just one of those situations where goalies are almost, I don't want to say discriminated against, but like overlooked. That's the word I'll use. I think goaltending is overlooked like a lot like defensemen are, but goaltending to a greater extent. Because how do you have a 934 save percentage? And among goaltenders with at least 500 minutes played, he's 8th on that list in save percentage. 934. And then his high danger save percentage, I remember we talked about this just the other night. His high danger save percentage lists him right at near the top as well. He's 22nd in the league in high danger save percentage among goalies with at least 500 games played at 5-on-5 at 843. I mean, he's been unreal this season, and he only has how many votes? It's weird. I feel like he should be up there in the top 5 at least, maybe even top 3 above Zegras with how well Jeremy Swayman's been playing.
Yeah, he definitely deserves some more recognition. Goalie is, it's just so, I feel like they are just like the voters for really any award really just view goalies as like a separate entity. Like it's like, oh, here's all the skaters and like we're gonna vote on them, and then there's like, oh, like I guess goalies exist. Like like
I guess they exist.
like it's like a bubble, and then when there's like a little bubble on the side of a bubble,
it's like they forget they exist because they don't
like you
really
blow a bubble, okay, and then there's like that little like half bubble that's stuck to the side. That goalies right there in the eyes of voters. Like it's just like, oh yeah, like goalies exist.
They're a thing, I guess.
Like we don't really count, but like they exist. Like I feel like that's how that's viewed with every award that obviously isn't the Vezina.
Well, and if you make it go from 5-on-5 to all strength, so including power play, including penalty kill, at 500 minutes, he's 15th in the league at high danger save percentage of 836. I mean, I should probably up the amount of minutes played because you got guys on this list like Luke Conan who have 9 games played because they just barely crossed the 500 minute mark. But among save percentage at all strengths, he's even higher. He's 5th in the league at all strengths with a save percentage of 926. The 5th best goaltender in the league. And he has like 2 votes. Like, what are we doing?
What are we talking about?
Like, I get that Boston's a much better team. And so, like, it might inflate his numbers, kind of like maybe it happened to Nedeljkovic last year. But Nedeljkovic got into the conversation playing for a good Carolina Hurricanes. Why isn't Jeremy Swayman getting the same recognition?
I completely agree, brother.
I know, guys, it's not Red Wings, but I just wanted to point that out because Jeremy Swayman's been out of his mind. And I want to give credit where credit's due because I think he deserves it. Much like you deserve to add a little bit of money into your wallet. If you want to do that, go to betonline.net. It's that time of year again as college basketball's tournament is finally upon us. From all the latest odds, contests, and player props, BetOnline.net is the #1 source for all your sports betting needs and info. BetOnline remains the best spot for all your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering information needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino games. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and action. BetOnline.
BetOnline.
Where the game starts. All right,
That was
Scotty.
nice.
When the game starts.
All right. Well,
All right.
never mind.
Well, let's move on now. So, kind of building on our conversation we had the other day.
How are you doing today, man?
How am I doing today?
Yeah.
Doing pretty good. I had a day. We're recording this just after midnight, so technically it's Tuesday, but I had Monday off. I got to spend woke up, went to the gym, spent the vast majority afterwards with my girlfriend, went to Marshall's, got myself some new dress shoes. No, wait, we went to Marshall's first, didn't find dress shoes there. I had a gift card, that's why we went there. Went to DSW, where the real dress shoes are at.
Damn
got
right.
myself some nice dress shoes. Found out I have a wide foot.
I got fat feet.
I bet you do.
I feel that. Yeah.
You give me fat foot vibes.
Yeah. No, yeah. I'm stomping around. I was wearing size like 14 or 15 as a sophomore, junior in high school.
I'm rocking an 8.5.
Yeah. And like, yeah, I think I'm currently at like a 16. They don't sell my size retail. I have to special order every shoe I wear.
I'm not. You're a giant. You're like, I'm David, you're Goliath, which means I could beat the crap out of you. Enforcer Brian.
Fair enough, Enforcer Brian, yeah. But
yeah, so I was trying the shoes on, and my dress shoes were like the ones I wear at work are like super uncomfortable, and I hated them. I tried these dress shoes on, didn't even know they were a wide fit. I'm like, oh my God. Like immediately I was like, this is amazing. This is like night and day. I look at them like, Oh, they're a wide foot. Do I have wide feet? Have I had wide feet this entire time and I didn't know about it?
This
And like,
whole life thing, I've had wide feet.
I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, well, the biggest thing that hurts when I'm wearing these dress shoes is my arches. Probably because it's squeezing the
I
middle.
guess you got wide feet, dog.
I got wide ass feet.
Well, I'm glad you got that figured out today. That's a successful day, man.
Thank you. I know you had a wild day waiting for Alavila to make some moves.
Yeah, I'm still waiting. And
AJ Hinch
it's
hinted, though.
12:30.
AJ Hinch
Huh?
said they were going to make moves.
Yeah, they did. Still waiting. But yeah, they said that. Yep.
Anyway, yes, the forward lines are absolutely neutered right now. We lost Robby Fabbri, torn ACL, and Tyler Bertuzzi can't play in Canada. We'll obviously get Tyler Bertuzzi by the time they go to Seattle on Saturday, but for the next 2 days, you're without Bertuzzi as well. We got to figure out what's going on with these forward lines because the
They're
depth
gonna
is
be
messed up.
all over the place, dog.
So what we're going to try and do is sit here and give you our best guess as to what the forward lines could look like. And does that give us any hope?
Precursor. There is gonna. I don't think there will be a consistent.
No, it's going to be a lot of
like,
jumbling.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be carousel of just roundabout people in and out all over the place. So I don't think that anything we can say will be like, oh yeah, that sounds the most consistent, but we can at least try and gauge some sort of semblance of structure with this disaster we got going on.
Well, can we agree that the first thing that should
No.
happen is okay? Well, all right. We'll be with you guys again tomorrow with a post game recap, same time, same place. It's your team.
Well, what? Like, I mean,
can we at least get on the same page that Vrana needs to be moved back to the top 6? Like, him being on the third line is albatross. Like it's horrible.
Yes, agree. Not only just because I mean he probably deserved to be there even before all this happened, but even more so the fact that he has been the most productive forward since coming back. So
yeah, I mean 3 goals in 3 games.
Hard to beat that.
Yeah, it is really hard. It's honestly hard to beat a goal a game player who is, I mean, obviously no one played good against Calgary except for Vlad Nemestikov and Thomas Greiss, but I mean, he needs to be on, in my opinion, he needs to be on the top line, but Vlad has good chemistry with Larkin and Raymond, so I can understand putting Nemestikov on the top line. Ron on the second line. Him being on the third line, him getting third line minutes is why he got disgruntled in Washington and wanted to leave. So you're going to take him here, promise him top 6 minutes where he's going to have time to flourish in that role, and you're going to put him on the third line with maybe Joe Veleno and Sam Gagne. But then who you move up? Who's your second line? You got Suter. If you have Vrana on the third line rather, who's your second line? Suter, Zadina, and then either Ernie and Gagne. You want second line Adam Ernie? We did that experiment against Calgary. And we look how that turned out.
Yeah, no, I'm okay with Verona too. I'm okay with that.
We're okay with it, but is coaching staff going to be okay with it?
Who knows, man? I'm done trying to predict the coaching staff.
Listen,
I'm done with that.
I understand that the forward group right now is butchered. I mean, you're missing Carter Rowney. God, I feel so bad for him. You're missing Robby Fabbri. You're missing Tyler Bertuzzi. You're missing Mitchell Stevens. So you had to call up Taro Hirose, who's 5'10" and is 160 pounds.
King.
Absolute king. You called up Luke Wachowski, who is
king.
Absolute king. I'm trying to find and he is a fringe NHL player at this point in his career, to put it mildly, just because you needed to fill roster spots. And so my third line is right now Joe Veleno and Sam Gagne and Adam Ernie. Now that third line's actually proven to work out pretty good because playing on the third line against opponents of equal caliber, it's actually been pretty decent. They're pretty solid defensively. Joe Veleno's shown that he can create scoring chances. He's been playing better, but your fourth line man is where it gets really messy.
So that means you have Z at 4?
Right now I have Zadina on the second line with Vrana and Suter.
Who did I miss here? Vrana. Oh, okay. Sure.
So let me. I'll listen.
Sure. No. I had a hard time following for whatever reason, but I'm with you.
Well, I'll let the listeners know just in case, because they had a hard time following. My first line is Vlad, Larkin, Raymond, Vrana, Suter, Zadina. Third line is Ernie, Joe, Veleno, Gagne, and my fourth line is Luke Wachowski, Michael Rasmussen, and Giovanni Smith.
Right.
So you have 2 enforcers on your fourth line and Michael
Dang, that's
Rasmussen.
that's a sick line, man. You're not gonna ain't no big hits happening when line 4's on the ice. Let
And
me
no
tell
shots
you.
are getting taken either, though.
Well,
What?
yin yang.
Yeah, you get the good with the bad. But I mean, the depth issues are hilarious. It's almost, I won't say hilarious, but it's ironic. Cruel irony. Holy cow.
There you
It's cruel irony that a week after we were like, the depth issues on forward are solved.
go. Immediately, like within 3 games of that
Yoinked.
comment.
It's worse than it's ever been.
It's worse than it was pre-Verana, yes.
It's like so bad that you called up Perosi and Wachowski, who, in their own right, again, Kings, way better hockey players than I'll ever be. Should they be on an NHL roster? Probably
Kings.
not.
They're Kings.
They're Kings. So it's an interesting situation.
It is. No, the like you said, the depth went from the best it had been all year, and then within games of it being the best it had been all year, went to the worst it's been all year. So super fun.
Now, it's just super fun.
Built Bar.
No, how easy Rock Auto makes it for you to buy car parts for your car.
That is actually super fun too.
With the ever-increasing numbers of makes and models, it's now impossible for your local chain auto parts store to stock all the parts you will ever need. Why endure often pointless or seemingly intimidating questioning and wait while the person behind the computer orders the parts on their computer, choosing the only brand their warehouse happens to carry? You have computers with access to rockauto.com at home and in your pocket. Save time and money when using Rock Auto. Why choose to spend 30, 50, even 100% more of the same parts from the chain auto parts store or dealership? Rock Auto is a family business serving do-it-yourselfers for over 20 years. Go explore their easy-to-use website today to find the solution to your auto parts needs. Go to rockauto.com right now to see all the parts available for your car or truck. Right locked on in their How Did You Hear About Us box so they know we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts you will ever need. RockAuto.com. All right. Let us preview the Edmonton Oilers game. That's how you set up a segment right there. Let's just do it. Let's do it. Last time these two teams met, the Red Wings won. What was it, 2-1? Let me double check on that little tidbit. But anyways, while I'm looking that up, Scotty, tell us a little bit about the Edmonton Oilers. Well,
I mean,
submit form.
They're hilarious. This could be anything. This could be a 7-0 win for the Wings. This could be a 9-2 loss for the Wings. This could be anything in between. The Oilers are hysterical.
Yes.
They have a one of the greatest hockey talents in the history of the planet. They have then they have another guy who is widely considered to be one of the best players in the sport as well. And they can't really figure it out. They can't get a streak going. They can't get a stretch of winning going. Like their numbers are all better than ours. Absolutely.
Well,
but listen to these team ranks and tell me if this sounds like a team that has Draisaitl and McDavid on it. Okay.
All right, hit me.
Goals scored a game, 12th. Goals against a game, 22nd. Differential, 18th at only 0.2 of a goal better. That 0.2 of a goal more they're scoring than giving up a game. 0.2. Power play percentage, 7th. Penalty kill, 23rd. PIMS, 9th. Save percentage, 25th. Face-off percentage, 7th.
They're all over the place.
Not right. It's not a train wreck, but it's a beautiful train wreck. This team has been, I would venture to say, I'm trying to think. This might be the most clowned on team that I've ever seen in hockey history, at least in my lifetime. I'm trying to think, man. I'm not sure I can think of a team that has just been laughed at more in my 23 years on this planet. Yes.
I have two.
Okay.
Arizona Coyotes, Buffalo Sabres.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. I'm talking year specific. So you're talking about this year? You think the Coyotes this year? I mean, I guess with the stadium
Yeah,
thing,
definitely this
maybe.
year.
Sure. Okay. Fair enough.
I
Fair enough.
think so. Here's the
I think
difference.
it's a different type of clowning though. At the same time, like those two are being clowned on because like they're just jokes. Like they're objectively just jokes of
Throughout the entire
organization.
tenure of their existence.
Right. The Oilers is like how are you managing to F this up?
Well, that's the difference.
Over and over.
The Arizona Coyotes and the Buffalo Sabres. Now, the Sabres did make a cup final. 1999 with the Brett Hall skate thing, Dallas Stars winning the Stanley Cup. Whether or not it should have counted. But the difference here is the reason why they're getting mocked. The Edmonton Oilers are getting mocked because they've had 1,000 number one overall picks. A couple of them actually to hit on, got some good players. Obviously Connor McDavid, generational talent, best hockey player I've ever seen in my entire life. I'd argue more exciting than prime Sidney Crosby. Sidney Crosby's not necessarily out of his prime yet.
Connor McDavid is the best hockey player
I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
Then they got Leon Draisaitl, who's also averaging over 100 points every season right now. He's been absolutely insane. So they're clowned on because they have the two best players and they have had nothing but incompetent coaching and incompetent general managing, not being able to build a team around them. Right now, Ken Holland is, signing Brent Seabrook or whatever, the old timer they got on their teeth. One of those old Blackhawks players right now. I can't remember which one it is. Is it Duncan Keith? Might be Duncan Keith.
Well, they also got what's his face, Kane. Not
Vander Kane. It's Duncan Keith. Duncan Keith. For some reason, I always get Seabrook and Keith mixed up. I don't know why, but it's Duncan Keith. He's 38 years old on a huge cap hit. Makes no sense. They signed that clown of Vander Kane.
Yeah.
Their goaltending is an issue, and for some reason, the Ken Holland decides not to deal with it, not fix it. I mean, Mikko Koskinen is their best goaltender at a save percentage of .906, which isn't the worst thing in the world. But if you want to be a Stanley Cup contender, you need better goaltending than that. But that goes back to their defense being absolute trash. Arizona Coyotes are being made fun of because they can't do anything.
Well, they're going to play in a college stadium.
Yeah, it's different reasons why they're getting made fun of. Edmonton has talent they can't build around. Coyotes can never get talent. Or they do and they trade them away, like Chichern probably at this deadline.
Yeah, absolutely fair. It's, man. And when we look forward to this game, it just makes me kind of pumped to watch it. Hey, just any opportunity I get to watch Connor McDavid, I'm going to be pretty happy about. But it's funny to me. The team is just the Oilers are objectively hilarious, and I cannot wait to see what could possibly happen in this game.
Scotty, I'm going to share my screen with you, and I want to see if you can see what I can see. Tell me what stands out to you on this page and that will disappoint you.
The fact that they have Connor McDavid and we don't.
Well, that is disappointing. Look between the logos.
No way. Why?
Oh, yeah.
What is happening?
I don't know. That is
Did our contract run out with Bally? What are we doing?
4 of 5 games is going to be on ESPN Plus. And so when you're playing Edmonton and Connor McDavid, so now you really know you're never going to hear anything about the Red Wings. Anyways, that's dumb and I hate it. And I want Ken Daniels and Mickey Redmond.
Do they have jobs still? We haven't heard from them in 2 weeks.
They were the Calgary game. It was Calgary was them, but neither of us got to see that game because we were both working. Connor McDavid has 83 points in 53 games. Leon Draisaitl has 81 points in 59 games. After that, it's a stark drop-off in point production. Zach Hyman's their third best forward with 37 points in 53 games. So the team is honestly all Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. It's the same X factor that I told you. This isn't a specific player, but it's going to be the same X factor I told you last time the Red Wings beat them 4-2 at LCA earlier in the season. You need to shut down Connor McDavid. And I believe in that 4-2 victory over the Oilers back at LCA, they kept McDavid to 1 goal. So you got to do the same thing if you want to win this game because Edmonton Oilers.
Good that you're just like, if you could only just score once, man, like we
Well,
might
yeah.
have a shot.
We might have a shot, but that's honest to God because he's all their offense, him and Draisaitl. So if you can keep honestly both those guys to 1 goal, I mean you're averaging 3 goals a game across the last 10. I mean if you could keep anyone just to less than 4 goals a game right now, it's an amazing performance by the Red Wings.
Literally.
And but that's also the big problem too. Is the Red Wings are in this spiral right now where nothing can seem to go wrong. You almost look at the Edmonton Oilers as like, This could either continue to go horribly wrong because of the fact that our defense has been so poor on both the forward side and the defenseman side, and goaltending has been an issue. You don't know what you're getting hit and miss. Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl could absolutely pull you apart in this game and just throttle you. But in the same vein, if you can manage to shut those 2 players down, this could be a great game to get back on the horse.
What's the horse's name?
Tuesday.
I'm done with you.
It's a Tuesday episode, right? That's how that works?
I'm done with you.
All right. So anyways, same time, same place.
No, I mean, you're right. This is a like I said at the beginning, this is a game that you could get throttled or you could take advantage of the bleep show that is the Edmonton Oilers. And it's up to you.
It's up to me.
Yeah, man. It's up to Brian Fisher.
David versus Goliath.
Unbelievable.
How do I end this? Scotty, what's your X factor? I said shutting down Connor McDavid.
My X factor is Leon Draisaitl. Because in my eyes, McDavid, you can only hope to contain him. Whatever. If McDavid has a game, sure. But as long as you can shut down the second option, you can let Connor cook, have him have his fun. But if that's it, there you go.
I agree. I mean, that's what it comes down to is just those 2 players. And we've said it a couple times. You just manage to shut down those 2 players. You have a shot in this game. But what's insane to me is in a very tough Pacific division, the fact that the Edmonton Oilers are 3rd in that division solely because of those 2 players, that's how good those guys are. Can you imagine if Ken Holland was able to build a team around them or the previous general manager was able to build a team around them? They would be an unstoppable franchise. But they just can't. They spend their money on foolish players, like signing Duncan Keith, deciding to keep the goaltending core that they have, acquiring.
That's the worst part, man. The goaltending throughout the McDavid era has just been egregious.
Well, then they also go out and they retain a guy, like Tyson Barrie, who's not been bad this season. He's a half point per game, but he's not worth the money they're paying him. It's just been questionable decision after questionable decision out of that franchise. But the trade deadline's coming up, so let's see who the Red Wings can offload on that Edmonton Oilers team as they go to make a playoff push.
Thomas Greiss for a second.
Thomas Greiss, Nick Leddy, and Vlad Nemestikov all look attractive when your team is solely in the playoff race because of 2 players. So they all 3 of those players could be great depth pieces for the Edmonton Oilers. Let's go.
Absolutely. All that for Draisaitl.
All that for Draisaitl. Scotty, you got any final thoughts, bro?
We ball, baby.
Of course we ball. We always ball. We'll be back with a new episode tomorrow, recapping this one. Same time, same place. See your team every day.
Every day.